My name is Mike Barton. My connection to Duquesne is I'm married to the Dean of Duquesne Law. But for my own career, I've been a Coast Guard JAG officer for 22 years. I entered the Coast Guard as a direct commission lawyer. In the Coast Guard, like the Marine Corps, lawyers are considered line officers. So I've had both a seagoing career as well as a legal career in the Coast Guard. After a period of time on active duty, I went into the Coast Guard Reserve component where I still serve as a Coast Guard Reserve attorney. And then I also serve as a federal civilian attorney for the Coast Guard as well. But it's been just an amazing career, and I'm looking forward to talking about it. During public service to consider military service. For me, when I first joined Coast Guard JAG, I was amazed at the level of opportunities that I received as a junior officer. And again, it'll depend on the branch that you join, because every branch is different. Whether your life and the missions that you are given will be different in the Army than they are in the Coast Guard. But I can say that from talking to my colleagues across the services, I can say that when somebody first joins the service, the level of responsibility they receive, whether you're a prosecutor or a defense counsel in military courts martial, or whether you're assigned to a JAG office where you're responsible for operational law, the level of responsibility and that you get is really just amazing. So for example, when I first joined Coast Guard JAG, I was assigned to the Office of Maritime and International Law, which was, for me, my dream office. I'd asked for that office. I always wanted to practice maritime and international law. And within 6 months of my first assignment, I found myself traveling around the Caribbean, Latin America, South America, and I was negotiating international agreements. And I was just a lieutenant junior grade. So for anybody that's familiar with military ranks, that's a very junior officer. And so to have the opportunity to travel literally internationally and to negotiate agreements on behalf of your service, for me, was really just amazing. The level of training was outstanding. Got to go to what's called Naval Justice School. So as soon as I entered the Coast Guard, they send you for, it's essentially another semester of law school. And all the services are the same. So when I went to the Naval Justice School, I went there with JAG officers from the Marine Corps as well as the Navy. If you were to enter the Army or the Air Force, they have their own JAG school. So essentially, being a JAG or a Judge Advocate General means that you are authorized and trained to practice in military courts. But that doesn't mean that that's all you'll be able to do. And so I've enjoyed my career over the course of the last 22 years. I've done active duty, I've done reserve duty. I've been able to be both a JAG officer as well as a line officer. Every service is different. So in the Marine Corps, for example, they have different programs where you might get paid to attend law school if you sign up for the Marine Corps, and they'll partially pay for your law school education or entirely pay for your law school education. And then when you become a Marine, you will practice law, but you'll also be considered a line officer. In the Army, my understanding is that if you become an Army JAG, then you will be considered a lawyer, and that will be the career in which you'll engage in for the remainder of your time in the Army. And then the Navy is the same way. With the Coast Guard, similar to the Marine Corps, you can do both legal jobs, and you can also do non-legal jobs. So you could have a specialty outside of the legal program. But it's been really just an amazing run. It's been very interesting for me. Again, 22 years. And I'd encourage anybody that's thinking about public service to absolutely think about the opportunities in the military. I could talk on and on about the benefits that people receive when they serve in the military. And I can also tell you that as a GS-15 in the civilian service, I'm at fairly high on the pay scale. I'm not considered a senior executive, but in terms of a staff level attorney, I'm about as high as you can get. And I can tell you that the benefits that I would receive if I were my equivalent in the armed services would be much, much better than they are in the civilian service. The dental programs are amazing. The medical programs are amazing. Childcare programs are amazing. The opportunities to do something different every 3 or 4 years, and the opportunities to go to travel, to take on new and exciting positions. It's for people that like to do different things over the course of their career. It's just a lot of exciting opportunities, and it's been very, very rewarding. I think all the military branches are the same. They've got core values. The Coast Guard's core values are honor, respect, devotion to duty. Navy's core values are honor, courage, and commitment. But the bottom line is they're looking for people who want to serve. It's amazing to me to think that only maybe 10% of the entire U.S. population is even eligible to serve, and only about 1% of the population is interested in serving, which is, to my mind, always something of a shock. Because if people understood what a great way of life it is, more people, I think, would be interested in serving. But we're looking for people who are team players, people who look out for others. It doesn't matter whether you have a conservative or a liberal point of view. Sometimes people have this notion that the military attracts people that are of a specific type of personality, and I don't think there's anything that's further from the truth. The military has people from all walks of life, people from all races, colors, creeds, and religions, people that are just interested in serving something greater than themselves and looking to work with others in a collegial atmosphere where they can work together to perform a mission. So it's what it does from my perspective and from my experience is it really brings people together. And one of the things Don just mentioned is he talked about being outside the fence line, but having that sort of camaraderie that exists from having served. And that's one of been the greatest joys of my career is that I've had the opportunity to make terrific friends in the military. And there's always that camaraderie that comes with working with fellow service members.
Great, thank you. You mentioned some of those mottos and things that are being looked for. I think that's really in accord with the mission of Duquesne too. Our mission is to serve God by serving students. We look to include ethics in everything that our students do so that they will not only become practice-ready lawyers, but ethical lawyers. And so I think that's really, again, in sync with what you're doing in the armed services.
Integrity is the cornerstone of the legal profession. Absolutely. And integrity truly is the cornerstone of military service. And integrity is what allows, I think, people to grow professionally ultimately. And so that's an important point that you bring up.
And, that's something we talk about early on. On the application, we have character and fitness questions, comes up during the bar exam. And we don't want it to be, something we talk about when you arrive and something we talk about when you're leaving, but that's something that is infused in the education. So we want to teach students that's an important aspect of their life and of their career. And so I'm glad we have a chance to mention that today.